Hi everyone, I am Jack Red, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of the worst video game movies of all time, and my personal choice is the single worst I have ever seen. Now, I'm a Sega fan, and I gotta say, for being one for such a long time, and playing Nintendo games every now and then, I am really happy to play my classics, on newer consoles, and get to experience my childhood all over again, but I'm afraid to say that even though House of the Dead wasn't technically something I was really into at the time of the movie, a couple of years later I got really into the series and I realized how shitty the movie was. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to be reviewing House of the Dead, which was directed by Uwe Boll, and the guy's a horrible director. He's known for making shitty video game movies, and he definitely knows how to ruin them to no end, and I got a lot to say when it comes to this fucking movie, because I feel like when I think about it, doing this refill for you that are watching, I realized it didn't even feel like the games. It didn't even follow the games, and it didn't even really do that much to reference the games. It was just something that has House of the Dead on there, and you think it was going to be good, and then you get ripped off, and it makes you so disappointed, makes you so angry, it makes you want to kill the director. And that's how I feel with this god-awful movie. My first complaint is, the movie's called House of the Dead. The games, the main series at least, is the House of the Dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, Overkill. And I was very disappointed that it just doesn't even feel like it. I mean, the voice acting was just horrible. Like, I'll be honest with you, I would rather hear the voice acting in the first couple House of the Dead games than this shit. This isn't even close to Sega standards at how bad the voice acting is. I mean, if you look at a game like Sonic Adventure 2, sure, there's bad voice acting in that, but the gameplay and all that makes up for it. And that's what makes it such a great game. Now, this movie doesn't even have anything, and I repeat, anything to make it at least decent to watch again and again and again. In fact, this is one you would probably watch a couple minutes and then turn it off, destroy it, or give it away, and you would never hear of it ever again. That's how bad this movie is. Alright, I also noticed that basically they were just zombies. Now, technically the bosses were giant zombies or interesting creatures and all that, and you don't get to see either one. I mean, you probably get to see clips of them, but they're not portrayed in the movie in any way, which is kind of stupid. And the fact that you would expect a lot from a video game movie, there wasn't really a lot to expect. I mean, this guy's like LGN for an angry video game nerd, or Shaquille O'Neal appearing in movies for the nostalgia critic. Though, at least one movie I had to disagree was okay when I'm in, and that was the Good Burger movie. Now, another thing that pissed me off is, I didn't know this until I searched this online. It's a prequel to the games. Wait, what? It doesn't even specify what year. And here's the thing. Not a good enough prequel. Video game movies are supposed to be based on the first game, the elements of the other ones, and the fact that it's not makes no sense. Besides, didn't we get a prequel a couple years later called Overkill, which basically blew the balls of that movie and showed you what a prequel is for the House of the Dead? I mean, it was heavily inspired by Grindhouse's Planet Terror, which was one of my favorite movies, and it just shows you that it definitely was going to go as far and as good as it possibly got. Even though it had one ending, it was probably the best game in the series. And for this director to even put the Sega logo, and basically have a lot of Sega fans killed, kind of pissed me off to no end. I mean, what if all those Sega fans gang up on him and beat the ever-loving shit out of him? I bet no one, I repeat, no one would care, except for the critics who would be laughing their asses off watching him getting his ass kicked. I know I would, because he ruined one of my favorite things I basically got into in the later years of my life, probably when I was a teenager, and it insults me to no end. I just wish he would stop making movies and just do something else, because honestly, this is not his line of work. Everyone knows it, and I think he's just going to keep doing it just to rip people off. That's my honest opinion. He needs to stop. He needs to really freaking stop. He's just pissing everyone off. He already pissed Sega off. He already pissed a lot of companies off. Of Konami and Blizzard already declined to let him do either movie that he had in mind, and thank God you did. Too bad Sega didn't do that first, but they did it second time, and I'm happy about that. Another thing I thought about remembering the movie is, technically it tells you how the zombies were made. It's like, oh really? They were all stitched together from other people, dead bodies, to make them into better zombies, better creatures, not able to die and all that. It's funny because they don't even tell you in the games how they were made. You know who created them, but they never tell you in the games who made them. It makes no sense that they just decide, okay, I'm going to basically twist it into my image and hope people like it. I'll be honest with you, I freaking hate it. I prefer Dawn of the Dead zombies over them. And the fact that they went faster, like the newer zombies. I mean, don't you think for a House of the Dead movie that they would walk like classic zombies rather than jump around like monkeys and shit? I mean, it just blows my mind on so many levels. I'm thinking about the games and the fact that it's like two different zombies. You can't even compare the movie to the games because the games are so much better. Even though some of them have bad voice acting, they make up for it, especially for some console ports. Even though I've been told recently, and I have read some comments on this, that the ports for the first game did suck. So hopefully it gets put on the Wii, probably with 4, and we all have fun. I know I want to play them both since 4 never got ported in America on any console, or Japan for that matter. I don't know what's going on with that game. But I would rather wait for that to come out and my chance to play 1 to ever hear how awful this movie is ever again. I mean, it's just that bad. It just makes me want to go snap. It makes me want to go get a copy of it, go get a sledgehammer, and bash the ever-loving fuck out of it. That's how I feel about it. Oh yeah, they made more like the video games. Basically, there was a part that's only dies, and it's like the games where you lose all your lives, and then, yeah. I'm going to explain something about this. Your health in the game is called lives. I was referencing critics, which is basically your lives. Basically, how many lives you have before it's all over. It is a little confusing, but once you play the games long enough and realize what they actually are, then you're better off. But the fact that it only did that for one person's death was kind of bullshit. I think one or a couple actually, but the fact that they just made it look like the game for a brief moment with live action, I'm sorry, for a video game movie, I didn't expect to see that. I expect something like Resident Evil, sure. It did part of the way from the games, but the first movie was so close to the first game, and Mortal Kombat was very close to the first game, having some elements of 2 in there, and that's still my favorite video game movie of all time. So for them to just basically say, oh, this is House of the Dead, I'm going to basically shoot over it. And here's another true fact about Germany. The name, the House of the Dead, is banned. So basically for him to do this in Germany and for them not to know it is a big question on my part. Because, isn't it supposed to be like renamed Karen's Mansion or something like that? There's basically sneaking House of the Dead games, or I don't know how that works, because that's basically what they did for Sega Superstar Tennis and Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. But I don't know, it just blows my mind there too. Like, what the hell's going on? Why did this movie ever got made so horrible? Why did it let such a horrible director directed something that could have been a good movie, but turned it to be a pile of shit? So, in conclusions, do not see this movie. If you're a fan of House of the Dead, you're going to be heavily insulted, and you're going to wish you'd never seen this movie. It'll make you feel like you should have used your time just doing something else. The movie is so bad that I recommend anyone to destroy any copy of the movie you can find. Please destroy it. I don't care if you have to get a whole pile of them, destroy them on camera, going nuts, play one of your favorite songs. I want you to destroy this damn movie. It doesn't deserve to exist. And I'm Jack Red. If you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.